Hi everyone, it's Nurse Cathy and it's time for 5 on Fridays. Well, it's summer and we've had a lot of rainy days, but we also had a lot of hot days. So let's talk about hydration and dehydration. We're going to first talk about dehydration because I'm hoping after I talk to you about dehydration, that's going to want you to drink more fluids. So what is dehydration? Dehydration is when there's a lack of enough water in your body to perform its normal bodily functions. Now, the body's natural response to dehydration is thirst. So the general thought is if you're thirsty, you're already dehydrated. So the best thing to do to beat dehydration is to drink before you get thirsty. So why is water so important to our bodies? Well, water makes up about 6% of our bodies. 80% of it is through oral hydration and 20% through foods. Now, here's some things water does for our body. Number one, it aids in digestion and helps rid our body of waste such as urine and stool. Number two, it lubricates our joints. Number three, it helps produce saliva, which we need for eating and digestion. It helps to cushion our bones. It helps to deliver oxygen-rich blood through our bodies. And also, it's a shock absorber for our brain and spinal cord. Now, for those pregnant moms, increasing our water helps produce amniotic fluid that surrounds our baby. It's that cushion for our baby. Now, during hot weather or periods of exercise, we lose body fluids through sweating. Now, with sweating, we also lose electrolytes such as potassium and sodium. Now, we also lose fluids when we have the flu, and say we have a lot of diarrhea or vomiting. Also can lose some of those electrolytes. And another way that we can lose a little bit more extra fluid is through medications. Those of us who might be on diuretics cause us to urinate more frequently, so you're going to run the chance of losing more body fluids if you're taking those medications. Now, dehydration can be either mild, moderate, or severe. Mild dehydration is easily resolved within 5 to 10 minutes, and it usually just takes drinking some water and you begin feeling a little bit better. Now, moderate dehydration, you might have a headache, you might feel a little bit flushed, you might have some heat intolerance. And generally, you can resolve that also with some hydration, a little bit more hydration. If those symptoms haven't been resolved within, say, 15 to 20 minutes, you're probably going to have to go to the ER and get some IV fluids. Now, when we talk about the more severe forms of dehydration, you're going to have alteration in mental status, you're going to have confusion, could even have loss of consciousness, weakness. If that should occur, you want to go to the hospital right away, call 911. Now, people think that they can substitute soda, alcohol, caffeine drinks, and fruit juice for water, but it's not the same. These fluids actually pull water from the body, actually contributing to dehydration. They're not hydrating you. So another aspect you want to look at too is also calories. When you focus on these other drinks such as the sodas, the alcohol, the fruit juices, things like that, they're loaded with calories and carbs. So remember, water has 0 calories. And depending on the type of water that you drink, it can be really less expensive too. One thing that you can do if you say, hey, I'm just not a water drinker, it's just too plain, it's too blah, I need a little something with flavor, what you can do is spice up your water. Spice up your water with either some fresh or frozen fruits. You can use such things as herbs such as mint or ginger. Remember, there's no recipe to follow. All you got to do is spice it up to meet your taste. Now, another way we can add some water to our intake is through many of the fresh fruits and vegetables that are out there because they have such a large water content. Now, remember I told you that 80% we get through oral hydration and the other 20% is through foods. This is what I'm talking about. Take advantage of this time of year with the fresh fruits and vegetables out there in all the fruit markets. You're going to want to look for berries, watermelons, cantaloupes, cucumbers, lettuce, and celery because they have such a high percentage of water content. To sum up, here's a few things that you can do to prevent hydration. Drink before you get thirsty, number one. Pump yourself up with water, especially if you know you've got an outside activity, say you're running, exercise, or you're spending a long day in the sun. You want to pump yourself up. As you're out, continue to drink throughout the day. And the medical field, we call it forced fluids. So you want to force the fluids throughout the day when you're out in that heat and sunshine. Here's an idea of the amount of water recommended on a daily basis. Now, this is what was recommended by all the information that I had on hand. For ladies, it's recommended that you drink 92 ounces of water a day. Well, what's 92 ounces? This is how I'm going to equate it to. It's about almost 6 of these bottles of water. Gentlemen, it's recommended that you drink 124 ounces of water per day, and that's approximately 8 bottles of water a day. Now, these recommendations are based on normal activities, and it's not considering if you're out in the heat or doing any excessive exercises or anything out in the outdoors. So when you're thinking about pushing fluids, you might also want to include some beverages which provide electrolyte replacements, such as your Gatorades. Because remember, we're still talking about that sweating and we lose those electrolytes, so you might want to, along with the plain water, you might also want to substitute some of those electrolyte-based fluid drinks. So drink up and start pushing that water. Stay cool and stay hydrated. That's all for me this week. Be sure to tune in to Ashley. On Monday, she's going to talk about food for bone health. Have a good weekend.